Prince Andrew heading for huge clash as King Charles set to hand Royal Lodge to Camilla. The ongoing dispute between the royal brothers over Royal Lodge involves reports that King Charles is attempting to force Prince Andrew out of the property and present it as a gift to Queen Camilla. Kinsey Schofield, a royal analyst, believes that the Duke of York might be forced out before the year is out, particularly since Charles has removed his security detail. She stated on TalkTV that in the event of the worst happening, the king is thinking long-term and might wish to leave this property that he spent so much time in with the Queen Mother to Queen Camilla. Welcome to Royal Pancakes. If you are new here, please don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell, so you don't miss any news about the British monarchy. He's hoping to have a space set apart for her in a quiet neighborhood that's still close enough to the family for her to feel comfortable and safe. With his daughters Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie, Andrew moved into this 31-room home in 2003. He holds a 75-year lease on the property, which is payable at a rate of £260,000 annually. His loving ex-wife Sarah Ferguson later moved in with him in 2008. Ms. Schofield continued, saying that Prince Andrew is currently a waste of resources and that the king would contend that, in accordance with the terms of the 75-year lease, Andrew ought to be evicted because he is not maintaining the property. The lease permits the Duke to transfer ownership of the land to his offspring and entails repair obligations. King Charles reportedly wants Andrew to move down to the 5-bedroom Frogmore cottage because he knows that his possession of a property worth at least £30 million damages the royal family's reputation. The king has informed Andrew that after October, he would not be paying for his 10-person security detail, but there may be a less expensive option. He would be entitled to receive the money he has purportedly spent, in the region of several $1,000s, in the event that the lease were to be cancelled. The Duchess of York purportedly purchased a vacant £4 million house in Belgravia in 2022. She and Andrew sold their Verbier chalet for £19 million last year. Both Eugenie and Beatrice are contented spouses who work and have families. Occasionally, they show up at royal functions. Since the recent cancer diagnosis of his brother, King Charles, Prince Andrew has been spotted at numerous prominent royal engagements. Wider members of the British royal family have begun scaling up the number of royal engagements after the king's health revelation. This is being done while the king heals. After he resigned his HRH title and stepped away from royal duties, the Duke of York has mostly avoided the spotlight. In November 2019, the UK's BBC Newsnight programme Prince Andrew and the Epstein scandal explored Prince Andrew's connection to the deceased, convicted paedophile Jeffrey Epstein as well as his relationship with Virginia Roberts-Giuffre, who claimed he had sexually assaulted her. The Duke vigorously and repeatedly refuted the accusations. He came to an out-of-court agreement with Giuffre, who had sued the prince in a civil suit alleging sexual assault. Andrew did not acknowledge any blame in the settlement, nor was it an admission of guilt. The late Queen Elizabeth II allegedly contributed to the prince's $15 million, £12 million, settlement of the lawsuit. Given the information available regarding Andrew's personal wealth, concerns were raised about his ability to pay for a settlement of that magnitude. Employees at the Duke's private bank, Banque Haveland SA in Luxembourg, estimated his wealth in 2017 to be approximately $6 million, £5 million. Since then, no revised figure has been provided. Prince Andrew was paid approximately $315,000, £250,000, year as a working royal, which included office expenses. In addition, Andrew is paid an armed forces pension, estimated to be worth $25,000, £20,000, annually. Presently residing in Windsor's Royal Lodge, a Grade II listed building rented from the Crown Estate. But the house is neither the prince's property nor something he could sell. Nonetheless, the prince did sell one of his portfolio properties. It is said that he sold his Verbier, Switzerland, ski lodge for $24 million, £19 million. With an indoor pool, sauna, and bar, this opulent 7-bedroom home had been up for sale since 2020. The new house of Prince Andrew. A desolate royal farmhouse with a view of dirty fields of turnips. In an apparent losing struggle, Prince Andrew and his brother King Charles are trying to keep their lavish mansion in Windsor, Royal Lodge, where they reside with their ex-wife Sarah Ferguson, from being taken away. The disgraced Duke of York, who was granted a 75-year lease on the Crown estate by the late Queen Elizabeth in 2003, is under pressure from the monarch to reduce his estate and expenses. Then, where might he go? The chairman and creator of 5WPR, Ron Tarossian, offered his opinion on possible relocation choices for Andrew. He claimed that the Duke had adamantly turned down the adjoining Frogmore Cottage, which was Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's previous residence. He also stated that he will not be renting or buying a high-end private building or property anyplace in London due to his financial concerns. Wood Farm on the Sandringham estate would likely be a more fitting spot, given its solitude, and would surely help keep Andrew away from the public eye, Tarossian told Express.co.uk. At Wood Farm, numerous members of the royal family have taken sanctuary. The main house and Anmer Hall are two of the 27 homes on the Norfolk estate that Prince William and Princess Catherine received as wedding presents. Wood Farm is a 5-bedroom farmhouse with an L-shaped stable block and yard, large lawns on both sides, and reddish-brown bricks and beige roof tiles built in the traditional Norfolk style. Numerous royal liturgies have been held at the neighbouring St. Peter's Sea Church. The cottage is located on the far side of Wolferton Village, some miles from the main estate, down a private road that runs behind the church. It is only a short walk from the shore and is surrounded by fertile fields that are planted with turnips, carrots, and other common household crops. That is, the Wash, which is a slightly different matter. The Wash is the largest significant wetland environment in the United Kingdom. It is a shallow sea with numerous estuaries, deep water canals, and large mudflats. Notoriety has it that in 1216, when his baggage train became mired in the mud, English King John lost some of his jewels in the Washington. Due to his epileptic illness, 800 years later, Prince John, the youngest child of George V, lived at Wood Farm with his caregiver, Lala Bill, apart from his family. Known as the Lost Prince, he passed away in 1919 at Wood Farm. After then, the cottage was rented out to a number of different tenants until Prince Philip decided that, when there were no guests at the big home at Sandringham, he and Elizabeth would have the ideal haven in the cottage. During his latter years, the Duke of Edinburgh resided primarily at Wood Farm. One royal courtier recounted how they led an extraordinarily modest life while they were there. Harry Mount wrote, "I was once at a shooting lunch, for the Daily Telegraph. I overheard someone say, 'I'll take care of the washing up,' after lunch. The Queen was standing there in her yellow dishwashing gloves as I turned around. It has also been used for other things, as when Philip wouldn't allow the Duchess of York to live in the main house after her divorce from Andrew, so she was asked to reside there. Additionally, during their pre-marriage Christmas excursions to Sandringham, William and Kate would spend time there." With Prince Andrew's impending exile from the property drawing closer, King Charles has already decided who would settle into Royal Lodge after the disgraced Duke leaves. Notwithstanding his brother's best efforts to get him out of the Windsor mansion, Andrew is hanging on. As he puts greater pressure on Andrew to leave the lodge and relocate to a smaller location, like Frogmore Cottage, Charles has already fired Andrew's security crew. However, the Duke of York is adamant about remaining at the house he shares with his ex-wife, Sarah Ferguson, having signed a 75-year lease on the property more than 20 years ago. It is expected to hurt that reports now indicate Charles is arranging for Andrew's replacement at the lodge. Prince Edward, the youngest sibling, and his spouse Sophie are expected to receive the house as a gift for their selflessness during the current royal crisis. The Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh have taken on more duties to cover for Charles and Princess Catherine at various events as they both receive cancer treatment. Although the brothers haven't always gotten along, Charles is rumoured to have been very impressed by his response to the issue, according to the Daily Mail. Charles has pondered the possibility of offering royal lodge to his youngest brother, Prince Edward, stated royal analyst Richard Kay. The monarch has been greatly impressed by the way that Edward and his spouse, Sophie, have expanded their efforts since being made Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh, even though the two haven't always agreed.